All right, y'all. Hopefully everybody can see the application window that I'm looking at here. I want y'all to look at this clip by Nancy Pelosi. It's on Twitter.
Capital crumbled to the ground. The one thing that would remain is our commitment to our aid. I don't even call it aid, our cooperation with Israel. That's fundamental.
Let's look at
the fundamental to. I have said.
Let's look at this again.
Me, if the capital crumbled to the ground, the one thing that would remain is our commitment to our aid. I don't even call it aid, our cooperation with Israel. That's fundamental.
Listen to the dedication.
Fundamental to. I have said to people when they ask me,
I just want us to absorb that. This is where your tax dollars going. I didn't do anything to Israel.
Is our commitment to our aid. I don't even call it aid, our cooperation.
They're getting my tax dollars. They're doing things that I don't approve of.
Fundamental.
This is from a Black American.
I have said to people when they ask me if this capital.
See, she's saying if the capital burns to the ground, it's fundamental to who they are. They want their tax dollars to go from America. We're in pretty tough shape. We got food lines in Texas like crazy because people aren't working. And she wants them to go to Israel. $38 billion going to Israel. That's where your tax dollars are going. This is for the white Americans who don't want to support Black reparations. See, like I said, white people have a different mentality than Black people. They're not going to play second fiddle. In order to make this nation unified, people are going to have to be able to settle at their own level. And if you try to integrate, the integration process is creating racial tension, racial conflict. And since the white population, even if it's scientists and not just the general whites who just are regular average persons, but I'm talking about the governmental officials, the eugenicists. These are documented groups who have tried to literally genocide large-scale Black folks off of this planet in America here. But they have not been successful, and we're still getting these intense racial conflicts, which is dividing the nation, throwing the politics into disarray, and making the ability of the rulers of the country unable to do that. You have to have reparations for the Black Americans. But that reparations has to take a specific form in order to be successful. And I'm going to look at this here. Reparations. This is what INCOBRA says. Reparations is a process of repairing, healing, restoring a people injured because of their group identity and in violation of their fundamental human rights by governments, corporations, institutions, and families. Those groups that have been injured have the right to obtain from the government, corporation, institution, or family responsible for the injuries that which they need repair and heal themselves. Now keep in mind, this here is so that the party who did the injury, which is the government of the United States of America and certain corporations within it, this is for them to settle the Black population in the mainstream, the Black population, so that there will not be the excess of racial conflict that's going on right now. If you don't do that, you're going to have these conflicts, and they're going to keep growing, because this is where the trends are going here. You're looking at trends. Nobody can stop trends. Remember, we took it all the way from 1807 when they stopped importing slaves, and the trend has been power towards the Black American. So the Black American has been pushing towards for power, and this is going to create the conflict that is splitting. We're at that point here. This is why you need to go ahead and do the reparations, get that out the way. Take 20 years. You're being given Israel 38, 40 something billion dollars every single year since when? Long time. Been sending money to them and help to them since 1948. And nothing to the Black Americans, you see. So you have to do this. And this is right here in the country here. You have to do this separation portion. Now, keep in mind, if you as a white American, now, if you make the argument that we're supposed to be all equality and equal, then if you don't want your money going towards Black American reparations, the people who laid the foundation and were fundamental in building the structure and the foundation of what you have and you enjoy as the United States of America, you don't want your tax dollars going to our group because of the stress and sufferings that we continue to deal with stemming from that process, but you want your tax dollars to go to Israel. Why should I, as a Black American, the Jewish group, they had an army that used to hunt down escaped Black slaves. They used to cut off their hands to use as trophies. Let's go further here. Let's verify this fact. This is from the Nation of Islam Research Group, the Jewish army that hunted down escaped Black slaves. Okay? Research reveals that in the early colonial settlements of the New World, the Jewish plantation owners set up militias with the sole purpose of fighting the Black Maroons, the escaped Africans who were fighting to free their enslaved brethren. Jewish rabbis prayed in Hebrew for the success of the expeditions. Jewish slave killers, the well-armed Jewish militia. Now keep in mind, a slave is a Maroon is someone who understands that their life and their labor is their property. Okay, so we want to understand who's the bad guy here. This person who's going out here and killing a Maroon, a person who escaped from a life of enslavement, this is a person who wants to steal that labor from the person in perpetuity. Okay? They want to steal the labor from this person forever. Okay? And add that labor to their wealth and to their family wealth. This is what this person is doing here. And those people who are Maroons, they left, they got away, and they went to free their brethren. See, this is the fundamental difference in the Black person's experience in the America and the white person's experience in the America. This is where I'm talking about this epigenetic situation. And we'll go over that again a little bit later. But the point is, you have a lineage that is pushing you to enslave or dominate as a white person, and this lineage is pushing the Black person to free and to make free and find justice in their situation. So this is what we're dealing with here. These particular people, they're well-armed militias, murdered the Africans, cut their hands to award as trophies. The first Hebrew poem written in the New World was a bitter attack on the Black Maroon leaders. This information was revealed in The Secret Relationship Between Blacks and Jews, Volume 1, And the original document is from a rare book by B'nai B'rith leader Simon Wolf titled The American Jew as Patriot, Soldier, and Citizen. Wolf presented the chapter to show how valuable Jews have been to maintain white supremacy. Here's the PDF from it. Let's see. This is it right here. The American Jew as Patriot, Soldier, and Citizen by Simon Wolf, Louis Edward Levy, Philadelphia, Levy type 1895. Now I know too that after the Maroons kicked the Jewish slave owners out of Suriname, they ran to Philadelphia. So those are those folks' ancestors. This is one of their ancestors here. And I'm not going to read this whole thing, but that's the point. Why should a Black American, why should my tax dollars go towards what Nancy Pelosi wants here?
To the ground. The one thing that would remain is our commitment to our aid. I don't even call it aid, our cooperation with Israel.
So why should my tax dollars go there as a Black American? Why should my money goes there? So give me my money back. Black Americans have paid taxes. We want our taxes to go towards our reparations, right? That's what I would do here. And this here is going to settle us. So when these white people run around here talking of this stuff, and then they don't want us to look at our history, but we're supposed to forget George Washington, who started the country, was the first president of the United States, George Washington. You know, we have to remember that history. We have to remember the Civil War. We have to remember all of these white things, but we have to throw our stuff away because it's inconvenient. This is what I'm saying. It's going to create this conflict here. We're not throwing away our history, and we don't expect white people to throw away their history. This is what needs to happen. Our reparations include separation. We have to have our area to develop. The Native Americans, they got their territories and lands. They do need more resolution in their reparation and confirmations. But this is not about them. This is about the Black people. It's separate claims. From the Black people were stolen the land, the memory, and the identity. So that is fundamental, and that is restored not just with cash, but with territory. And that was what was given with Field Order number 15. But Andrew Johnson revoked that. Field number 15 is right after the Civil War, when General Sherman asked the Black preachers, what do they need? They needed land. So he wrote General Order Field number 15, and the Black people were given land and started prospering. But once Abraham Lincoln got killed, they took that away. So we need to understand, this is what I'm saying. This is why white folks, if you want your country to stay stabilized as a unit, and keep in mind, everybody is still here, everybody is Americans, is the fact that just like Native Americans have their territories, the Blacks need to have a territory that we call our own, that we run it. It's got to be here. It's got to be our territory, our area. There would be an integrated area, and then whites have to have their area. Now, everybody would still be an American, but because this is a race-based society, this is the way this is the process needed in order to bring that process together. The integrated territories, everybody would be there, which would be the greater portion of the country. But you have to have the group where we should be. Okay. And really, it's just the three groups that's the fundamental part of this nation, which is, the Blacks, the whites, and the Native Americans. That's it. all this other stuff is immigrants on purpose. And so, let me finish this thing off because really, this is part 2, secondary. But yeah, the argument that we should throw our history away so that white people can feel better is toast. We can't talk to you if you make these type of arguments. Okay, it's not. The history is vital in order to understand how to solve the situation. The history is what causes the problems here. So we have to repeat this history so that we can solve that problem. Forgetting things does not work. We want to deal with this situation of blackness. See, because this is another problem here. If this country was started off as everyone was Americans instead of black and white, if it was began like that, then we wouldn't have a problem. We would just be Americans. But it's not like that. You are black. You're a black American. You think differently. Not because you want to, but because you are different. Your people, you were created under a different set of circumstances and laws that were imposed on your particular group for hundreds of years. And this is the reason why we have this difference that needs to be settled. It will be settled. It is being settled, but we can settle it civilly.
Black people have finally come about this means of being proud to be black, the feeling of being righteous black. The word black itself has become an upstanding word, and we accept it now, the word black. As of one time, we didn't accept black because white America made everything black seem foul, black angel, black lie, everything black to us was, it was taboo, it was no good. But now we have become, gained knowledge of ourselves, and black is part of us. This is known as identity, being identified as black. This is the reason for the naturals and the Afro-American styles that we have picked up and that we have gained knowledge of. Was our customs. And to identify with oneself, he must be known as black. You are black. You are a black man. You are a black woman. You are a black child. It's no, well, that's the trouble with black people. They don't know who they are, and so, but black is all black people. The word black.
To be black is beautiful, I believe, because we're people that learn to live with hardships that has always been inflicted upon us, and when we see a honky in our neighborhood, it's something that doesn't nobody dig because we been brought up around nothing but black, and this is all we want to be around is black. And when a honky come on the set, it upsets our set. It's just like if we went out on their set. When we get out there around a bunch of honkies, we feel lost, man. We feel like we're the only person in the world. And the minute we get back to the black ghetto, and we feel at home again, we feel like we're king, like we can do what we want to. So black is truly a beautiful feeling, if you appreciate the term black. But if you don't, then you might, if you one of them towns that don't want to be black and want to be somebody else, then you wouldn't have the feeling that I do, and the most of the black brothers do. But black in itself is a beautiful thing to live.
If I could go and come again, I think I would come back as black.
To be black and live in this society is more like looking through a magazine and seeing another world. When you look through a magazine, you don't see your world. You don't see my world. You see another world. You see a world of happiness. You see a world of everything is even, Steven. This is what you see when you look in a magazine. To be black is to I have to worry about everything. You got to worry about, are you going to be here tomorrow? this is what's happening, you know, and you live from one day to the other. You have to be aware of what's around you all the time, man. You don't trust no white man, and any white man comes up to you, you're gonna look at him and check him out very close, see what he's like. It's to be different in dress, man. It's to put soul with everything you do, because soul is part of being black in the ghetto. It's anything you do concerning that white boy, whatever you do concerning that white boy, you got to be twice as good. You got to be twice as good. Whatever you do, whenever you have to confront that white man, you got to be twice as good. If it's going to court, or if it's getting drafted into the army, or whatever's going to happen to you, anywhere in life, you got to be twice as good as that white boy. You got to show it. And it's a feeling of you know, of like opening up a book, man, from the beginning to the end, from birth to death. That's what it's like. It's like going through a book, because every day is something, you know, it's something that you know could happen. Anything could happen to you, man. Because, you know, I mean, like, why did you just say, okay, anybody who has 60 Chevys, they ain't no good. You got to give them up. You know, you pass a law, there's nothing you can do, man. You know, if you pass a law right now, every black man had to go to a concentration camp. It wouldn't be nothing that could be said. He passed it, you know. If he say all blue chip stamps are no good, throw them away. They're no good.
So anybody like it, share. I'm gonna combine these two videos later. But thanks for the look. Peace.